All right, y'all. So today we are going to be talking about sugar. So that is because next week is Thanksgiving. So we are entering in the holiday season of 2022, which means there's going to be a lot of, there's Thanksgivings, there's probably a Friendsgiving and some holiday parties as we basically close out the remainder of the year. And we all know at those holiday parties, there's usually lots of alcohol. There's also lots of baked goods and sugary foods. So just wanted to today talk about sugar. So I was listening to the Huberman Lab podcast, and they were talking about this, and they brought up how sugar consumption over the last 20 years has actually declined, which I thought was absolutely insane. I thought it had actually skyrocketed because, right, sugar's in like everything. We look at the data and it's actually declined. So, and I've also been someone who's always said, look, everything in moderation, right? I'm very against the restrictive diets. I'm really not a big fan of like a diet. Basically, I'm more of a fan of just, everything in moderation, eat a nutrient dense diet, and if you want a cookie, have a cookie, just be smart about it, right? Have a common sense diet. That's what I'm a fan of. But anyway, so they're talking about sugar and they're talking about this study that was done. And so essentially in this study, they had two groups of people. Both were given very low calorie diets, 1,100 calories. That is not recommended. But nonetheless, both were given 1,100 calories. So this group over here, most of their calories were coming from sugar. And then this group over here, they just had a well-balanced diet. So what they found at the end of the study was that both groups actually lost the same amount of weight, same amount of body fat. Their biomarkers were all the same. The only difference was that this group over here with mostly sugar had higher LDL cholesterol, or the bad cholesterol, and that was because they had less fiber in their diet. So essentially what that study was showing is that it was not sugar alone is not the cause for, say, the obesity epidemic, or is not the sole reason why, say, someone might gain a few pounds or you just gain weight in general. It's not sugar alone. It's the overconsumption of calories. So if you're taking in too many calories, that's going to lead to weight gain. And it just happens to be that something that's in a sugary processed food, say cookies or brownies, things like that, those types of foods are really easy to just over consume. So it's the over consumption of those things. So that's what I just wanted to talk about, because as we're going to a holiday party, I think the worst thing you can do is restrict yourself, right? Because then if you restrict yourself one day, that might lead to some binge eating maybe the next day. And so it's really just about having a healthy relationship with that, and recognizing that as long as we're not over consuming throughout the day, it's gonna be all right. It'll be okay. Now you might be wondering, well, how do I know how many calories I should be consuming each day? Again, that's where I'd say go talk to an RD. We are gonna do a separate video talking about total daily energy expenditure, which is kind of a formula that will give you a general idea. That'll be something we'll do later. But I would never tell somebody only eat this many calories. I think that's outside of my scope of practice as a trainer. But nonetheless, as you're going into next week for Thanksgiving, if you want a piece of pumpkin pie, have pumpkin pie. If you want the whipped cream on top, have the whipped cream on top. It's just be aware, maybe one, not six. Just be smart about it. Have the common sense diet. And I hope that helps. I will see you all in another video for this week. But nonetheless, I know I'll talk to y'all before next week for Thanksgiving, but I'm just wishing you all happy Thanksgiving prior to that. So have a great rest of your day. Happy Friday, and have a beautiful weekend. Bye, guys.